Orphaned and injured, hearts were broken after a Lodi boy lost his entire family.
Does he remember what happened?
No, at first he did not.
Edan was the only one in his family of 7 to survive that horrible car wreck on the streets of Lodi. His future was unknown.
CBS 13's Tony Lopez with the emotional update as he answers the question, whatever happened to Edan Miranda?
It was one of the most horrific car crashes this area had ever seen. One look at the impact and you had to wonder, how could anyone survive this? Edan Miranda's family did not. His father Luis, his mother Vivian and her unborn child, his brothers Irvin, Jose Luis and little sister Stephanie were all gone in an instant. Edan's legs were broken, his liver punctured, his head cut open, his life ripped apart. But he survived.
I couldn't imagine what the poor thing is going through, and I don't want to even imagine.
No one wanted to imagine. The details of how it happened turned sadness into anger. Investigators say 28-year-old Ryan Morales had shared a bottle of vodka with his dad, then got behind the wheel, going more than 100 miles an hour down a Lodi street. Edan's family and 6 others injured in the multi-vehicle crash never saw it coming. What we saw after the tragedy was a reaction overflowing with love.
You know, a little boy, he's in need, so he lost his entire family, so I felt really bad.
From blood drives to yard sales, strangers stepped up big time, raising money for Edan's recovery and his future, which at the time looked as dark as that October day.
He didn't have anything left after.
But he did have an answer that still brings his school principal to tears.
At one point, when someone asked Edan about his family, he said, "Heritage is my family."
Heritage Elementary School in Lodi. This is where Edan and all of his siblings attended. This is where he wanted to stay. His extended family in Mexico and Southern California understood. And when a friend of Edan's mother, his godmother, wrapped her arms around the 9-year-old, it became clear.
We were very excited when we found out he got to remain here and that he was going to be with his godmother. I mean, when he returned to school, he was like a rock star. He had his little crew that would just follow him around always.
The family he lost follows him as well.
Jose Luis, little second grader, loves soccer, so there's a soccer ball.
This bench on the school campus honors the memories of his loved ones. The plaque reads in part, "Those we hold closest to our hearts never truly leave us."
What is your question?
Principal Christine Melandro knows Edan's godmother well. She asked Mrs. Melandro to speak on her behalf.
Does he remember what happened?
No, at first he did not. And I don't believe he does now either.
The trauma still fresh, we kept our distance from Edan, not wanting to intrude. But we were allowed to capture video of the now 10-year-old boy, a 5th grader, during recess. That's Edan in the orange shirt and plaid shorts, playing basketball with his buddies.
Physically, he's running around. He's had minor surgeries to take pins out of his knees and things of that nature. But he's in the running club. He's participating in PE. He's a happy, funny child. He's got a great sense of humor. Emotionally, he has healing to go, of course. It's something that will always be with him.
Something else that will always be with Edan, a sense of belonging, of being loved, of being wanted. For a little boy who lost so much, short of bringing his family back, that is the greatest gift he could ask for.
When tragedy strikes, it's amazing, the human kindness, the giving nature of people.
People who stood tall, turning this story of tragedy into Edan Miranda's story of survival.
Very emotional there. Edan and his godmother do plan to give back.
They're putting together a toy drive to help the less fortunate, using some of the many toys that Edan received as gifts after that accident. We turn